On March 14, 1879, Albert Einstein was born in Ulm, Württemberg, Germany. After 6 weeks, the family relocated to Munich, where he later started attending the Luitpold Gymnasium. After they relocated to Italy, Albert resumed his schooling at Arras, Switzerland. He then enrolled in Zurich's Swiss Federal Polytechnic School in 1896 to pursue a degree in mathematics and physics education. He received his diploma in 1901, the year he became a Swiss citizen, and when he was unable to obtain employment as a teacher, he agreed to work as a technical assistant in the Swiss Patent Office. He received his doctorate in 1905. He created a large portion of his extraordinary work while working at the Patent Office and in his own time, and in 1908 he was named private docent in Bern. He was appointed professor extraordinary in Zurich in 1909. Professor of Theoretical Physics in Prague in 1911, and Professor Extraordinary in Zurich again in 1912 to hold the same position. He was appointed professor at the University of Berlin and director of the Kaiser Wilhelm Physical Institute in 1914. He acquired German citizenship in 1914 and resided in Berlin until 1933, when he left for America to accept a position as a professor of theoretical physics at Princeton. At that time, he had renounced his citizenship for political reasons. In 1940, he obtained U.S. citizenship, and in 1945, he announced his retirement. After the war, Einstein was a key player in the world government movement, turned down the invitation to lead the State of Israel, and worked with Dr. Chaim Weizmann to found the Hebrew University of Jerusalem. Einstein always seemed to have a distinct understanding of the physics issues and the motivation to fix them. He had his own plan of attack and could see the major steps necessary to reach his objective. He saw his greatest accomplishments as little more than stepping stones to the next development. Early in his scientific career, Einstein became aware of the limitations of Newtonian physics, and his special theory of relativity developed out of an effort to harmonize the physical principles of mechanics with the electromagnetic field. He dealt with statistical mechanics' traditional difficulties as well as those in which they interacted with quantum theory. Consequently, the Brownian motion of molecules was explicated. With a low radiation density, he studied the thermal characteristics of light, and his findings form the basis of the photon theory of light. In 1916, Einstein presented his article on the general theory of relativity. In his early years in Berlin, he had hypothesized that the right interpretation of the special theory of relativity must also provide a theory of gravity. He also made contributions to the issues with statistical mechanics and radiation theory during this time, although he continued to work on the probabilistic interpretation of quantum theory and persisted with this work in America. Einstein started developing unified field theories in the 1920s. By creating the quantum theory of a monatomic gas, he made a contribution to statistical mechanics. He has also done important work in relation to atomic transition probabilities and relativistic cosmology. After he retired, he continued to work toward the unification of fundamental physics ideas, employing a different strategy than most physicists' geometrization. Of course, Einstein's research is well documented, and some of his most significant achievements include investigations on the theory of Brownian movement 1926, special theory of relativity 1905, relativity English versions 1920 and 1950, general theory of relativity 1916, and the evolution of physics 1938. The most significant of his non-scientific writings are likely about Zionism 1930, Why War 1933, My Philosophy 1934, and Out of My Later Years 1950. Many universities in Europe and America awarded Albert Einstein honorary doctorates in science, medicine, and philosophy. He delivered lectures across Europe, America, and the Far East in the 1920s, and he received memberships or fellowships from all the top scientific academies on a global scale. He received many honors for his contributions, including the Franklin Medal from the Franklin Institute in 1935 and the Copley Medal from the Royal Society of London in 1925. Because of his abilities, Einstein lived much of his life in intellectual seclusion, and music played a significant role in his life as a kind of relaxation. After his 1903 marriage to Maliva Merrick ended in divorce in 1919, he married his cousin Elsa Lewenthal, who passed away in 1936. The couple had a daughter, Anne Tabors. He passed away in Princeton, New Jersey, on April 18, 1955.